What's up, y'all? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again with another episode of the Hate It or Love It podcast. As you guys can see, I'm finally showing my face for once. No, the only reason I make a big deal about me showing my face on here is because I have seen that for my podcast, like whenever I do show my face on here, like people tune in a lot more. And then also, I think I said it like before, like sometime last year I did do a poll on my Instagram basically asking people like, do you prefer more audio only episodes? That way you can like listen to it in the background, or do you guys prefer me like actually getting on camera and talking to y'all what it feels like directly? And a lot of people actually said that they do prefer the more like me being on camera actually talking to y'all type stuff. So I'm not gonna lie, it is definitely more convenient, like, doing an audio only episode, because all I really need is my laptop and my mic. But I know that this is the type of stuff that y'all like, and to be honest, I didn't buy this camera for nothing. If I'm not using it for like videography or film and stuff like that, I might as well put it to use. So basically, just know that I am going to try to start like pushing myself more to do like the whole camera setup and stuff like that. Like, it's something that I feel like I need more to do when I have guests, but when I'm by myself, I am more inclined to just do like audio only. But I'm like, you know what, this is what the people want to see, and it's not going to kill me to just set up the camera as well and do the episode. So yeah, just know that you guys are going to start getting more me back on camera again, because I know that's what you guys like to see, and I know that it's something that I should be doing anyway as a a video maker, as a content creator. It's something that I should be doing anyway. So I was saying so okay, today I don't really have much like you guys know how I rock. If you guys been subscribed to me, you know how I rock at this point. Like, basically, I come to y'all with a bunch of different topics, and I go through it all through, the episode and whatever. But this episode, I don't really have no topics, but I do have something that I want to touch on, because this is, I guess you could see this more as a just me getting things off my chest type episode, and maybe whatever I say, maybe you guys will relate to it as well. But the thing that I want to talk about, obviously, in the title of the episode, I want to talk about, like, basically why I've given up on dating, and, like, why, I guess my main message is to why nobody should be stressing about it the way that I see people stress about it, at least in my age group. I don't know about older groups, and this probably will relate to, like, people that are younger than me, but I just know for my age group, I just see a lot of people stressing about the shit, and I just kind of want to get on here, speak on my 2 cents, and basically speak on my perspective of like dating, and to be honest, why I just don't care too much for it, as much as I used to. So, alright, so why did I randomly choose this topic? I'm a 25-year-old man, basically, like, it just kind of goes with the territory. Like, you're 25, you're young, you're single, everybody talks about dating, and it's crazy because, like, I feel like dating has always been like a big conversation point for me, my friends, and like other people that I know for like the past few years. But it seems like this year I kind of reached a point where it's like, I think I finally reached that point where I'm just like, you know what, I'm good. So all right, let me start from the beginning. So one of the things that really made me want to talk about this topic is recently I found myself in a space where, like, a couple months ago, if you talked to me like a couple months ago, I was almost like a completely different person. Like, I was still like on dating apps. I was still looking for the one. Like, I was still trying to find a relationship very badly, especially since my friends, like, basically I'm basically the only one of my friend group that still doesn't have a girlfriend. And seeing all my friends in relationships kind of made me be like, damn, I need to get started on this. And I even mentioned it like a couple of episodes ago. One of my other friends from childhood got married. So it's like seeing all these people in relationships, seeing my friend get married, it was like, damn, like, I feel like I gotta pick up the pace. Like, Tevin, what the hell is going on? So you know, I was on dating apps and I was talking to a couple of people, but you know, as time went on, I kind of started to realize, like, you know, and not that the girls weren't good or anything like that. Like, some of the girls that I was talking to had a lot of things that I personally liked in a woman. But what I came to realize is that I'm more just dating, at least at that point. I was just more dating because I felt like I had to catch up with everybody else. And I felt like, you know, it almost felt like I was just dating just to date, not even because I was fully invested in the people that I was talking to and stuff like that. And, you know, I guess it goes without saying, like, you guys know how dating apps are nowadays. Most situations fall through. And basically, every girl that I talked to fell through. And once it fell through, like, that's when I really came to that realization, like, damn, like, was I really talking to them because I really felt like it, or was it just because, like I said, everybody's in a relationship? My friend just got married. It's like, well, what was I doing it for? And you know, I'm not gonna put nobody's business out there, but one thing I have said in the past before is that I basically, for me, growing up, I haven't really ever seen a lot of positive relationships. I never really seen long lasting relationships like that. Like, for me, I think I can count on one hand how many like successful, healthy relationships I've ever seen in my life. And even when I think back to my exes and I think about how the situations ended with them, it was like, when I look back at it, I don't even fully think I fully know how to love somebody properly, because I don't think I've ever really seen a healthy relationship before, or I haven't seen enough healthy relationships to say that I can love somebody properly. And also, to another point of, you know, why it's probably not best for me to date, I don't even feel like I love myself like properly and stuff like that. Not me saying that I don't love myself, but it's just like, if I haven't even found a fully healthy relationship with my own self, how can I feel like I'll have a fully healthy relationship with another person? So, you know, these were just a lot of the things that I was thinking about. And I basically came to a point where I was like, you know what? I think I am like done with dating. Like, because a lot of the girls that I be matching with on dating apps, like, a lot of them be playing games, a lot of them be on bullshit. Like I said, um, I was mostly at the time dating because it was just like everybody's doing it, so why don't I just do it? And then also, it's like there's still things about myself that I still personally feel like that I need to work on. So I made the conscious decision to be like, you know what? I just want to be by myself for right now. And when I say that, that has become like somewhat of a big topic for people that know me and stuff like that, and like, because one thing about me, I've always been a lover boy. Like, you know, back in high school, a lot of my friends were players, fuck boys. Like, they basically was going around school like rabbits and whatever. But I was always that one person where it's like, I didn't just want sex. I always wanted like a real relationship. I've always, I guess you can say that I'm one of the good guys, even though I wouldn't classify myself as like how people be describing themselves as good guys. But like, I've always wanted a relationship. Like, even when a girl in high school would like show interest in wanting to have sex with me, like, I would just be upfront, like, that's not just what I want. Like, I also want like a real relationship. So that's just always been the type of person that I always have been. And low key, because I've always been that type of person that always wanted that one, that always wanted that relationship, like that Corey and Topanga type relationship, I felt like when I look back at it, I felt like I was really chasing more the sensation of wanting a relationship. Not even the person. I wasn't even looking for a person. I was looking for the relationship, the status, the, like, if you guys get what I'm saying, like, that's what I was chasing. And I was really starting to reflect on a lot of my past relationships and a lot of my past situations. And I'm really starting to realize that in a lot of the cases, it really was just me chasing the fact that I've always wanted that one person and not really like, I was looking at love and relationships more in a way of like, you know, it's this thing that I want, but it's not even like the person. Now, I won't say that every relationship I've ever been in was like that. Like, I have always accepted people for who they were and I loved them for who they were and stuff like that. And I'm not going into specifics on which person I feel like I specifically loved them for them and who now looking back, like who did I love for just having a relationship with. So it's like, I'm not going to go into that, but I did start to realize, now that I'm really starting to think about it like that, like I have started to realize like, oh, I've been looking at this relationship thing in the wrong way, and I've been looking at this love thing in the wrong way. And earlier today, me and one of my coworkers was like talking about like relationships and love and stuff like that. And I brought up the point that, for me, when I look at a lot of the people around me, when I look at like people I follow on social medias, like girls, like women and guys that like, all they do is complain about relationships. They complain about being single. They say men ain't shit. They say women ain't shit. But truth be told, when I look at a lot of people, now that I'm really starting to think about relationships and love in this type of way, like when I look at them people, I'm just like, do you guys genuinely want a real connection with like another person, or do you just want to say that you're in a relationship? Because when I look at a lot of the people around me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to really see that like people are really only together because they're afraid of being alone, and they're afraid of not having a relationship because everybody wants one. And what really made me start to see that is because slowly I have became that person that, I've become that person. And it's funny because, I was talking about me in high school chasing the feeling of a relationship and chasing like all of that. But I do feel like in high school, I was somewhat content with being single. Like I wasn't on the internet complaining about being single. If anything, people around me was more complaining about me being single than I was. But, I have realized that slowly over time, I started to become that person where it's like, I'm not even chasing, a person. I'm more just chasing the feeling of being in love and chasing the feeling of being in a relationship and being able to say like, oh, I have a girlfriend. Like that's the thing that I realized I started to low key feel. And it's like, that's not what love and relationships should be, because if that's all you're chasing, you're going to wind up being in a lot of bad relationships. And like I said, a lot of this shit has started to make me think about my past relationships and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm not going to go into which one and all that, but it's like I have started to realize that like that was one of my problems with my old relationships, is the fact that I really started to just look at it more just like I just want the status of being in a relationship. And I know it sounds like I'm rambling right now, but I'm just saying all these thoughts in hopes that whoever is watching, whoever is listening can somewhat, relate to what I'm saying. And I think the overall message that I do want to give off to anybody that's listening or watching right now is, don't date just for the hell of it. Don't just get into relationships, just because you want to be in a relationship. Don't chase the feeling. When you get into a relationship with somebody, first off, I want to say this. And, we're all different people. We don't have to follow the same thoughts and philosophies and stuff like that. But for me, the way that I'm thinking about relationships and dating right now is, at this point, I'm fine with being single until I feel like I've met that person that I don't mind, have like adding into my life. I know that probably sounded like a bad way of expressing it, but here's how I think about it. Personally, me, like I said before, I don't even feel like I have the fully best relationship with myself. You know, I talked about it a couple of times on the podcast, how I was diagnosed with depression. Sometimes I do have a bad self-image of myself, and a lot of times I can be hard on myself. And I don't want to be that type of person. Like, I want to heal. Obviously there's people that get into successful relationships not fully healed, but I want to be as healed as possible for when I meet somebody that I'll be in a relationship with next time. Because at least for me, a partner is not a therapist. I don't need my partner to help me improve myself, you know, my self-worth. I don't need a partner to like make me feel complete. I want to be complete before that person even comes, or as complete as I can be. Like, I want to be my own person, which that's another thing I should talk about in another episode, like how people get into relationships and like they are not their own person, and I feel like that's something that kills a lot of relationships. But for me, basically what I'm saying is I want to focus on myself for right now. I want to, you know, fully understand like why am I the way that I am. I want to find different hobbies. Like, I do have hobbies like playing games and, you know, taking walks and stuff like that, and movies obviously, but like I want to figure out more things that I like, you know, I want to, like, basically I just want to learn more about myself, improve myself as a person, and then whenever that person comes, which, you know, everything is God's plan. So if I'm supposed to meet that person tomorrow, and not even just a person, because like I said, the one, I've slowly started to like let go of that, you know, mindset, because technically everybody you're with is someone that you're meant to be with at a space and time. Now, whether that lasts long, you know, but anybody that you date is somebody that you were supposed to date at any given point in time. So there's multiple ones in this lifetime, but it's like, say I do meet that one girlfriend that lasts for the rest of my life, eventually becomes my wife and, you know, mother of my kids. Like, you know, I can meet her tomorrow, I can meet her next week, and whatever. But like, I can meet her tomorrow, I can meet her next week. Like, I could meet whoever at any given moment. But either way, no matter when I meet them, no matter what time it is, like, for me, I want to be my best self. I want to improve myself. And to be honest, I don't want to think about relationships. I don't want to think about, like, you know, trying to satisfy another person, because right now I'm in a selfish point in my life. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm at a very selfish point in my life. I want to, you know, do better in life. I want to do, you know, big things with my film shit. I want to do big things with this podcast. I want to collect my movies. I want to go to the movies by myself. I want to play my video games. I want to focus on the relationships that I have with my friends and my family right now. Like, that's all stuff about me. I want to focus on me. And truth be told, like I said, it's all God's plan. So if I do meet somebody that fits conveniently into my lifestyle, that I mesh with very well and stuff like that, I don't know if that will ever happen. But this is the main message that I want to give you guys. Stop stressing about relationships. Stop trying to focus on constantly getting into a relationship, because that's something I feel like a lot of people in my generation has a hard time grasping. I've seen a lot of people stressing about finding the one, stressing about being in a relationship, basically like losing their minds over this shit. And this is coming from someone that was going through that at one point. So it's like, learn to be by yourself. And when I say learn to be by yourself, learn to be single, I don't mean like learning to be single by going on dates with people with not having the intention of, you know, actually being with them. Because I've seen that a lot. Like, I was on TikTok last week and I saw a girl like post a video and she's like embracing my single era, and it shows her going on a date with somebody. And I'm like, okay, when I saw that, I was like, okay, so you're saying you're trying to embrace your single era. But what if you wind up having a good time? Then you're not technically gonna be in a single era no more. You're gonna constantly keep seeing that person until eventually y'all become a couple. Or either you are intentionally trying to stay single and you're basically leading on this dude that's taking you on a date. So it's just like, the way I view it, learn to be single. Learn to be content with yourself. Because how can you be content, you know, in a relationship? Because a relationship is not a remedy for everything. A lot of people be acting like relationships will remedy every problem in your life. It will remedy like your self-esteem and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie, it does annoy me how much people rely on relationships so much to be like some type of fixer and end all be all to like the problems and things going on in their lives, when it's like a relationship shouldn't be the end of a problem or anything like that. It should add on to your life. Like, it should be like a positive thing to add on to your life, but it's not the end all be all. It is not the cure to your problems like a lot of people be looking for. Like, stop looking for a relationship just to be in one. Work on yourself. And I'm not trying to sound like one of those influencers like, oh, work on yourself and then somebody will come along. Truth be told, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't know if anybody's ever fucking coming along. Like, let's be real. Nobody could probably ever come along, because one thing people don't like to hear is that not everybody has a person for them. Not everybody is going to die with a partner. So it's just like, let's be real about this shit. Like, who knows if anybody's ever gonna fucking come. Nobody will probably come for me. Nobody will probably come for you. And I'm not trying to be negative, but it's just like, why stress on it? Whatever is supposed to happen in this lifetime for you is going to happen. So focus on yourself. Love yourself. Do you. And if God willing, and if you don't even believe in God, whatever you believe in, you know, if anything willing that to happen, then it will happen. Now, I'm not saying that if you meet somebody and you're interested in them, I'm not telling you not to do anything, like not go up to them and like put it out there or anything like that. I'm not encouraging people to like not shoot their shots with people if they genuinely feel like there's a real connection there. Like, obviously, if I meet a girl and, you know, if I'm still trying to stay single, but then eventually, you know, me and her click and stuff like that, yes, I'm going to try. But the whole point of what I'm saying is, and I feel like I'm rambling on a little bit, but I hope people are getting the point of what I'm saying. The whole point of what I'm saying is just stop stressing about relationships. It's nothing to stress about. And truth be told, from everything I learned in my life, if a relationship is making you stressed, then it is just not worth it. It is just not worth it. And I don't mean like, you know, I know people always say like relationships have ups and downs and they go through things. So like, I mean, it is inevitable that a relationship is going to make you stressed. But I mean, like, if it makes you stressed to like the point where like you're obsessed with it and like you have negative thoughts about it, then it's just not worth it. So, you know, for me, my main thing is focus on you. Whether you're a man or woman listening to this episode, listening to this podcast, focus on you and don't worry, because either eventually you'll learn to be happy with yourself and learn to be happy with the life that you do have, or actually, no, that's about it. Just learn to be happy with the life that you have. Like, when I say that I'm fully in my selfish, like, point in my life, as people like to say, selfish era, like, as like when I say that I'm in my selfish era, like, I mean that shit. Like, I just want to improve myself. I want to do better for myself. If somebody comes along, cool, but you know, I just want to be the best version that I can be. And like I said, I know I was all over the place, but I hope that somebody listening got this message and, you know, take something from my message. I hope somebody takes something from it, because it's like, now I'm basically going into something else. Like, that's what I do this podcast for. I basically do it so that people can hear my words, whether they think I sound crazy, whether they think I'm rambling. People can hear my words and take something from it, and that's all I hope for. Which, that's something that I have been thinking about with this podcast, is like, I know I'm used to like doing the different stories that's going on in the world and stuff like that, but I kind of want to start talking more about like personal things and talking about my experiences so that other people can get something from it. Like, I basically want people to learn from me. So, I don't know. One thing that has kind of inspired me to like wanted to do the podcast more in this type of direction where like I want people to learn from me and stuff like that. So one of my favorite TikTokers is Andrea Tomasi. I've been watching her content a lot. If you guys watch her on TikTok, she's the shut the fuck up girl. Yeah, she's the shut the fuck up girl. And one thing that I love about her content is that she is very open about like the things she's been through in life, and like she be telling like her personal experiences so that other people can learn from it and stuff like that. And that's something that I want people to do with my content, because I feel like that's something I could do. Like, a lot of people have told me that I've been through a lot of like crazy experiences, like a lot of learning experiences. So like, you know, I am still going to keep the topics. Don't worry about that. I am still going to keep the topics. But just like how I did with this episode where I just kind of talked about relationships and like my thought process and like, you know, my, you know, situations with that, that's something I want to start doing with the podcast. So like, if there's a topic that y'all want me to touch on, like personally, like family, I'll go a little bit into that if you guys want me to. But like, if you guys want me to talk about experiences like friends, family, advice about like careers, like, you know, just talking about different things that I can draw personal experience from, then yeah, I would love to do that. And like I said, I will still keep talking about topics. I don't think I'll ever stop talking about topics. I love talking about like movies, music, and games and stuff like that. So that's never going away. But like, I do want to start pushing more for a personal type thing that can lead into like more positive, you know, messages, because I do feel like that's something that a lot of people in my generation don't hear enough, is like a lot of positive stories, or a lot of positive messages coming from stories, especially when it comes to relationships. The way that people in my generation are obsessed in relationships, and it got to a point where I even fell into the trap. Like, you know, if you guys don't take anything away from this video, at least take that you guys should be learning to love yourself before you can fully love anybody else. Love yourself, and whether somebody comes or not, you learning to love yourself will still make you a better person to love someone else. So if you don't take anything else, take that. But yeah, like I said, I am trying to stay consistent with showing up on camera, and I got some episodes planned. I was talking to one of my friends about doing an episode with them. Didn't fall through, but I'm going to try again with him later. I'm planning another big episode. I don't know. Well, I got to fully set that one up, but I'm planning another big episode. Just know that a episode that I did this year, we're planning a part 2 to that shit, and it's going to be crazy. I already know it's going to be crazy because part 1 was crazy. But yeah, yeah, so if you guys have anything to add on to anything that I said as far as relationships and loving yourself and working on yourself and like how do you view relationships and stuff like that, like if you got anything to add on to what I said, comment down below, let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll catch y'all next week. And yes, I am trying to be consistent. I'm going to try to be consistent. I keep saying that all the time, but I'm going to try to be consistent. So yeah, like I said, add anything down below in the comments, like, subscribe, do all that nice YouTube shit. If you're watching on streaming services or listening on streaming services, follow the podcast. And yeah, with all that being said, Tevin Jameer signing out. Catch y'all in the next one.